Murder. Mystery. Episode. Did Fred kill Caesar? Or did Caesar kill Fred? Find out now on Dragon Ball Z.
This is the Cleveland Podcast.
Fred Talks.
Hello again, everyone. This is another Fred Talks episode here. Unfortunately, this is not a murder mystery episode. Unfortunately. But it is an episode that can be exciting and useful for all of you, particularly during this time when we are still caught up inside of our homes, praying that we can eventually see the sun without fearing that our lives will be lost. Today, I want to talk about something that came up on the coronavirus episode number 2, which is the organization called Toastmasters. Now, you might be thinking, do they make toast? No, they don't, but I do make a mean toast. The point is, Toastmasters is not about toast. It is a public speaking organization. Why am I bringing this up? Because Toastmasters hosts online meetings, which means that if you get bored, or if you feel like you're losing your mind, or if you feel like you need interview skills to get your next job and improve those skills, you can go to Toastmasters and learn how to do that. Today, it's pretty much a freebie Toastmasters promotion in a sense, but at the same time, it's a useful tool for the general public, and I highly recommend it. I myself am a member. In fact, I am what they call a DTM, which is a Distinguished Toastmaster. It means that I've been in the organization for a long time. Well, 5 years, it's not too long, but still, it sounds like a long time. I've accomplished a series of speeches, leadership projects, manuals that have allowed me to really improve my communication skills, which is really important. I say that my current job, I couldn't have gone without Toastmasters. Matter of fact, it was because of Toastmasters that I got my current job that pays me decently and allows me to live a fairly decent life, and particularly in my early 20s. I have to be very thankful for that. It's allowed me to enter grad school. It's allowed me to complete a series of projects that, like this podcast. I can't imagine what it would have been like for me to do this podcast without Toastmasters, because before I joined the organization, I did have my public speaking skills. I did have good chops. I made people laugh. I had the funnies, but I wasn't fully confident in those skills. Whenever I spoke, my knees would knock. I would start to sweat. My back would start to ache. I detested the idea of going up in front of a stage to talk to people in a manner trying to prove myself. I was fine with conversation and dinner parties and the bar, situations like that. But in terms of just speaking in front of a crowd for a purposeful reason, it became a nightmare for me. I remember I heard about Toastmasters my freshman year from my best friend in college, who told me about the organization and was designated to be the president of the Case Western Reserve University Toastmasters Club that the next year, our sophomore year. I remember thinking this was a cool idea. I went to the Thanksgiving meeting freshman year. I heard for the first time these people speak in this section called Table Topics, which, if you don't know what that is an opportunity to speak impromptu, which means you get to answer a series of questions. Well, really one question. And you get to respond to it for 1 to 2 minutes. I remember just listening to these people talk, and I've never heard people orate the way that they did in such a clear and succinct manner. And these were regular people. These were people that were just students like us. It just made me realize that I could improve these skills without having the fear of really falling flat on my face, which is important because the environment's very welcoming. It's about practice. You're not going to speak in front of 100 people, but you will speak in front of 10 to 20 people, depending on the size of the meeting, maybe even less, depending on which club you decide to visit or attend or join. It's ultimately a very interesting organization, in part because it's all about repetition. You have these 3 parts where you have the formal speeches, you have the impromptu speeches, and then we have the evaluation portion where we get to evaluate different parts of the meeting. The prepared speeches are based upon projects, manuals that you can go through, select a project, and then give a speech. And you can do a whole variety of topics. For instance, there's a manual on public relations. There's a manual on TV interviews. There's a manual on job interviewing itself. There's a manual on interpretive reading. There's just a whole bunch of topics. Then in the other program, the other education program that exists in Toastmasters called Pathways, you have the opportunity to select your own path based upon a set of skill sets that you'll learn about through a questionnaire that you'll take if you become a member. And you can do things such as projects in dynamic leadership or media talking or innovative planning. There's a whole bunch of options. There's about maybe 20 or so different options that you can take. And there's a series of levels that you can go through that you can complete that have different project requirements and all those wonderful things. And they really just guide you through what it means to really create a presentation in a way that's succinct, powerful, and useful. It's useful for jobs. It's useful for just about everything, really. I've heard about how Toastmasters has saved relationships, marriages. Toastmasters got me my current job, which has allowed me to interact with some of the leading medical minds in the world, particularly at the University of Stanford, which is a huge honor. It's allowed me to go in and say, hey, you need to work on these things. And they actually listen to me. These people who have the absolute right to say, you're just a kid, you're just a young 20-year-old, what the heck do you know? They actually listen to me in terms of, this is some good advice. This is a good thing to incorporate. Because I do have that experience of giving presentations numerous times in front of crowds that vary quite a bit. Now, am I saying I'm the be-all of communication coaches? No, not at all. There are certain things I'm not very good at in terms of public speaking that I still want to improve. And that's why I'm still in Toastmasters, even though I've accomplished the highest awards possible within the organization. It's allowed me to grow individually. It's allowed me to grow in terms of my interpersonal skills. It's really quite the journey. You get to go to meetings that allow you to sit down once the epidemic's over, that allow you to sit down and interact with these people from all walks of life. You have people who own businesses. You have people looking for jobs. You have people who currently are in a job. Some are senior people, senior employees. Some are entry level. Some are people just in the middle. You have people who are accountants. You have people who are janitors. You have people who are lawyers. You have people who clean windows for a living. And you won't believe the amount of incredible presentations that come out of this whole wide range of people. I've heard some of the most inspiring talks that I could possibly imagine. If you really want to know more, for instance, there is a club called MSU Toastmasters that has a YouTube channel, and you can watch some of their presentations. Their presentations are out of this world. Matter of fact, I'm on that YouTube channel. That's kind of cool. Yes, I have a speech. Around 50 people have viewed it, which is pretty neat. Nothing big, but it's cute to think that people have paid attention to my work. Even my video has been liked on YouTube. That's quite the honor. And not me. I didn't click that myself, although I might have a long time ago. But there's more than one like, I think. But not only that, Toastmasters has a whole bunch of other benefits, not just for me, but for others as well. There's a particular Toastmaster who I won't mention the name because she probably wouldn't want her name to be thrown about. And Toastmasters allowed her to start a nonprofit, to start a consulting business, to get a much better paying job that she's very happy about, that she can take pride in. She also met her husband through Toastmasters, and they live a happy life. All these wonderful things that happened to her is in large part due to the organization, because she learned these communication skills that allowed her to develop into businesses and ideas that help people all around the Cleveland area and even beyond. There are other people as well, obviously. You have those who have started numerous businesses. We have someone who started a big public speaking business. She's currently living the dream. She's an amazing speaker, along with the other lady. They're both amazing speakers who really know how to capture your attention and really get to the point. I think that's really important. Then you have all types of other individuals as well. You have people like myself who have the current job because of Toastmasters. In fact, a club I'm in, the club president, she got a job primarily due to her public speaking skills trained by Toastmasters. And it's a good paying job at Tri-C. And that's amazing stuff. It's really incredible what Toastmasters can do. There's all types of benefits. I've said this like 8-10 times, but I really can't stress that enough. So then if you're really interested, what exactly goes on? What happens? Well, you have the prepared speeches, like I said. Then you have someone who creates questions like the table topics. They'll give you questions on a theme. And the themes can vary quite wildly, although they have to be appropriate. You can't really talk about things like, I don't know, doing number 2 in the bathroom. That generally just doesn't really fly. Unless if it's a scientific talk on poop, then that might fly within Toastmasters. But you get all types of topics. I've heard people do topics on prescription drugs. I did table topics on Greek tragedies. I've done table topics on NFL scores. I've done table topics on history questions. I've seen people do questions on death metal, hip hop. A whole wide range of topics can be used, and it allows people to create good questions that really test the brain and allow you to get some unique and unusual responses that really stretch the human mind to really develop something unique. You have all types of opportunities to then get evaluated. You have people who will evaluate the prepared speeches, and they give this succinct feedback that you really can use to really develop those skills. You have people who evaluate your grammar, not too badly, but grammar's important. You have someone who keeps track of your filler words. A lot of us are victim of using ums, ahs, ands, so's, likes, including myself. If you maybe have noticed, one of my favorite phrases is I use that a lot. That's a phrase that I'm trying to cut down on. Also, being in a podcast setting is a little bit trickier, and I'm having to adjust to that. You also have people who do things like keeping track of timing on presentations, so that way people can have a good sense of how long a speech is, and then making sure that they stay on time when you have a presentation for X amount of minutes and you don't go over, because if you go over in a professional setting, it may not look so great. I think many of us are aware of that, but still, in case if you get a job where it really matters, Toastmasters can train you to do that. Like I said, you have a whole wide range of people that you meet, people from all walks of life. Not to mention you have retirees, students, young professionals, middle-aged professionals. You have people that really are just coming together for the sake of one goal, which is to become better speakers. You really have a wide range from the community. And not only do you get professionally a wide range, but you get racially, culturally a wide range. And currently our head person in this part of Ohio for Toastmasters, yes, we have a whole organization above just clubs. She is someone from India, which is incredible. And it's a great thing just to see the culture that she emits and allows for us non-Indian Toastmasters to absorb and understand and also just appreciate. I've seen clubs in Ohio here where you have those from China who are presidents or have major officer roles. Then you have people like myself who are students in charge of 30, 40-year-olds. Well, not really that much of a student anymore. Well, I'm a grad student, but I'm talking about undergrad. You have people who, my best friend from college, he was a student from Malaysia. He wound up becoming president, and he had all these important roles in the club. Really one of the most vital contributors to the college club for the undergrad students at Case Western, which is just huge. Having these great opportunities. But not only that, you also have the opportunity to potentially train for management roles, which that's pretty interesting. For myself, I've had some of these semi-management roles within the organization where I've had to manage almost 200 to 300 people at a time on a fairly frequent basis, on a volunteer basis, which means that you're not going to get much pay, which take that as you will. But if you know how to time manage, this could be a great way to train yourself into a better supervisory or management role within your company, or it helps you learn how to be a better just overall sole proprietor, which means that you can run your own business more efficiently. All types of wonderful things like that could really just drive you forward as a manager. And let me tell you that when I was in this role of 200 people, it was hard. It was tricky, but it was so worth it because I learned so much about how to be a leader, how to be a better communicator as a leader, but it also showed me the incredible diversity that exists within, not just beyond my clubs, but across the entire Cleveland and Northeast Ohio area. So then how do you get access to these various clubs that might be lying around doing online meetings? Well, I talked about these potential online sources such as District 10 Toastmasters Facebook, but the main way you could do it is through Toastmasters International website. Yes, there's a whole international website. Yes, there are Toastmaster clubs around the globe. Matter of fact, there's over 17,000 with over 350,000 members around the globe. It's a pretty big organization. You can go under the Toastmasters International website page. You can go under Find a Club, and then you just type in your local area, Cleveland, Cleveland Heights, Macedonia, Madison, Lakewood, Shaker Heights, wherever you are, and then it will give you the club names that exist, and then you can click on the club page that is nearby to you, and then usually you'll see a contact number or email that you can send an email to, or just make a call and just ask about the Zoom link that exists, if they do have a Zoom link that allows you to access the meetings, which will then allow you to attend these meetings online. You don't have to worry about driving or walking all the way to the building. And the meeting times really do vary quite a bit. We have some clubs that meet at 6:30 in the morning, which I've been a part of that club, and oh boy, that was that was hard for me. You have clubs that meet at 12 o'clock. You have clubs that meet at 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. You have a wide range of clubs that you can participate in that try and fit your schedule. We have clubs that meet on Fridays, Saturdays, no Sunday clubs yet, but there might be something coming up in the cards. I just don't know. I'm a little bit removed from all the district news. And on top of all of that, yes, there's more. If you are a competitive person, there is every year the opportunity for the Toastmasters International Speech Contest, which means it's an opportunity to show that you're the best public speaker within Toastmasters, within your club, within your area, within your division, and within perhaps the entirety of Northeast Ohio. It's an opportunity to show your inspirational chops, to show your skills. But not only that, it also helps develop some project planning skills, because if you are a volunteer for one of these contests, it's a long process of getting the right facility, getting the right volunteers. It really helps develop those skills that you might need in the future in terms of project management and leadership and delegation. Best of all, you get to hear some of the best speakers in Northeast Ohio compete against one another. You get to hear some of the best speeches possible. You get to see a wide range of people from all walks of life come together in this crowd of 25 to 50 people that talk and just be people and come together as a community, which is just amazing. Matter of fact, we just had a online contest because, well, we're still locked in. Oh, God. We're still locked in. We're still locked in. Oh, God. It's just never ending. In the online contest we had last night, we had over 90 people on the call. 90. People just listening in, viewing these presentations from people that they hardly know. Well, some of them probably do know these participants pretty well, but you get people who just want to observe and just watch this amazing event come to be. And that's the beauty of this organization, is you have people who are just doing it on their own volition. This is an opportunity to really grow as an individual, to grow as someone who's a part of a community. And you also get to see this wide range of people that you might want to get to know better and interact with. These could be future business partners, future bosses, employees, all types of wonderful things that can happen due to Toastmasters. Now, am I saying that everyone should do it? Of course not. Depends on your schedule. If you're really just apprehensive about public speaking, maybe try something a little more specialist to just get that confidence boost first, because sometimes those with legitimate anxiety, this could be very, very troubling to try and go in front of a room, even if the room is not 100 people. But if you are someone who feels like they're in this career rut, that you don't know where to really go next, or if you're a person who just wants to improve overall, you want to potentially establish a business, but you know you need better skills, you want to work for yourself, and you want to have better communication skills, or if you're just a person who just wants to improve altogether, which was my case, you can come along and join Toastmasters, which, again, is an organization changed my life. And for those who will join in the future, whether you're a listener of this podcast or not, it will, in many ways, potentially change your life. Who knows how much it will change you? You'll certainly get what you put in to this organization. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is another episode of Fred Talks, and I will see you later.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us online at facebook.com/The Cleveland Podcast, or get links to all of our various different social media pages at theclevelandpodcast.com. Our episode notes for this and other episodes can be found in the photo albums on our Facebook page. You can follow along as you listen, as well as learn more from our sources about the subjects that we cover. You can also find links on our website to our YouTube channel, Spreaker, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, and more. Leave us a voicemail at 216-200-7940. Send us an email at theclevelandpodcast@gmail.com, or interact with us on Reddit, Facebook, or Twitter. We'd love to use your comments, ideas, and feedback in the show. We are a community-based podcast, so the more community interaction, the better. Have a great day, Cleveland.